There we go. Hello, everyone. Good morning from my end, and welcome to a Moving Forward Monday. Thank you guys so much again for being here because the issues that concern children, young people, and women is something that warrants all of us. It's a natural warranty for all of us to come together. It entails each and every one of us to contribute in whatever way that we can because what is going on around the world is not a good sight. So, because of that, it is so important that we do that. And when we come here, I don't take it lightly. I really take this very seriously. And I say thank you for everything that you're doing. And even when you're not even here, you're still thinking of ways that we can do things better for this population in the world. They're the most vulnerable. And if we think that I have all my money, I have all my mansions, I protect myself, no, you're wrong. Because when a child anywhere in the world is not feeling well, is not comfortable, is not getting what they deserve, what we brought them into the world to get, then you're wrong. So what affects even one mother affects the other. What affects a father affects the other. There are a lot of challenges, social challenges that our children are going through because we are going through those challenges, and therefore they also go through the same thing. Because if a father is not doing well, the mother is not doing well, or the caregivers or the adults around these children are not doing well, what do you expect from the children? It is going to be the same thing. And so we thank the Almighty God for always bringing us here together to do this, and we will continue to do it as long as we live. I hope so. But on my own part, that is where, and this is what I'm going to do. And so we want to thank Mr. Ashmufara again for bringing us here together, because nobody can deny the fact that he brought us here together, and he understands that the first resource ever in life is human resource. You cannot do anything without the humans. That is the number one resource. The rest of the other things, those are enablers, because if we have what it takes, if we know why we were born, if we know where we are going, and we know whose we are, we will know that human resource is the most important. And for that, I say thank you, Mr. Ashmufara, and for those that are helping behind the scene, the builders, and for all of us here who are the ambassadors from Unpassive. So thank you so much. Thanks to our big sister here, Sister Yvonne Finn, and thank you so much, Melanie Mukamugema. I highly appreciate all of you for coming together to do this, because you can do it alone. I cannot do it alone. But when we bring all our little endeavors and our knowledge put together with high ethical values and the fear of the Lord, there is nothing that we cannot do. So thank you. And this, we always want to start the week with a prayer, because we want to give everything to the one that created us. We want to give it to the universe, and he will direct our path, and he will give us the energy, and he will shield us, and he will lead and guide us where he wants us to go. So now, one global movement prayer for this week against exploitation. And let us bow down our head, do whatever you want. Prayer is not one directional at all, like we always say. And this is not about Christianity, it's not about church, but it's about a way of living, a way of being. Because if I don't go this way, I don't think that I will be here today. And this is the only way that I knew first. And this is the way that has been really helping me and guiding me. And I know that it will for each and every one of us, but do it your own way, your own cultural way, the way that, what is your culture? Not the general culture. What is your own individual culture is what I'm talking about here. So you can be just watching the birds, or maybe just watching maybe the animals, or you're just watching a river, whatever. These things were created by the Almighty God, and I highly respect these things. So let us bow down our heads. Divine protector and source of justice, we come to you with hearts full of hope and hands lifted in prayer for the countless children, women, and young people exploited around the world. We know the circle of exploitation is not only a crime against the body, but against the spirit, hindering dreams and silencing potential. This issue is great, yet we believe your love and power are greater. Lord, grant us the strength to stand boldly against all forms of exploitation. Inspire leaders, communities, and every one of us to create pathways of empowerment, protection, and justice. Open eyes and soften hearts worldwide so that compassion outweighs greed and humanity outweighs power. May we, in one global movement family, be vigilant defenders, champions of freedom, and advocates for dignity and respect. Unite us all, Lord, so that through one global movement, we may break every chain, heal every scar, and uplift every soul who has suffered at the hands of exploitation. Let justice flow like a river, bringing a new dawn of safety, equality, and love to your children worldwide. In your name, we find courage. Amen. All right. Thank you guys so much. And Melanie Mukamugema must be busy on the ground, but whether somebody is here or not, we are determined to move on because this is an issue of staying ready, not getting ready when you're already on the scene. We got to stay ready 24/7 when it concerns children because we see it, we know it, we feel it, some of us live with it. And so we have to stay ready. So breaking the chains of exploitation means liberating the future of our children. I want to ask Sister Yvonne Finn and Sister Melanie Mukamugema, we want to just do it like a discussion. If you think about anything, jump in and I can stop, okay? It's not like you have to go, no, because we don't do like this with our children. Otherwise, we are limiting their ability to voice out or to advocate for themselves or for their friends. So breaking the chains of exploitation means liberating the future of our children, women, and young people. One global movement stands for a world where opportunity replaces oppression and freedom replaces fear. Exploitation is a circle only broken by courage, unity, and commitment to justice. Together, one global movement can dismantle this circle and give children, young people, and women the future they so deserve, the future they were born with. The world cannot be free, not at all. The world cannot be free until every single child, every woman, and every young person lives without exploitation. Exploitation of all kinds. We know it. Let us build a movement, and we are already building a movement so powerful that it transforms pain into hope and vulnerability into victory. Exploiting the vulnerable weakens humanity. It does. One global movement believes in a future where every child can dream freely, every woman can walk in dignity, and every young person is empowered to build a future. When the world silences exploitation, we open doors to boundless potential. We all know that. Let us rise together in one global movement to transform tears into triumph and suffering into success for every child, every young person, and every woman out there. The circle of exploitation can end when we choose love over indifference and unity over division. I urge each and every one to join the One Global Movement to stand up for the dignity and dreams of every woman, every child, and every young person. I have tasted it and I know that a lot of us have tasted, we've lived it, or maybe experienced it in our homes, in our communities, and now in the global village. We all know that. We should not pretend as though we don't know. So the circle of exploitation can end when you and I When all of us, when we choose love over indifference and unity over division, join us and let us do this together. This is a plea and a call for each and everyone listening today and tomorrow and who listened yesterday to join the call and let us do this together. We
Amen.
can do this. We can do this. We can.
Yes, we
As
can.
long
Yes,
as
we can.
exploitation exists, as long as exploitation exists, we are rest assured that freedom is incomplete. And we know that.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
When you exploit a child or you exploit the parents, automatically you are exploiting the children. And therefore, freedom is incomplete. Freedom is not just by the word of mouth or just written down, but it is action, action in
Absolutely.
reality. One global movement therefore calls for the whole world where the rights and safety of children, women, and young people are upheld, held
Yes.
in the highest esteem, respected with each ounce of our blood, and protected everywhere we are, everywhere we go, everywhere we aspire to go. It should be. The world is bleeding. Children of the world are bleeding. And they're looking up to you and I. They're looking to all of us to do this. And I pray that we all do. If you guys have anything to start to talk on this, just pop in and say whatever
Okay.
we need.
Okay. I'm ready.
Yes.
So, the topic says the global cycle of exploitation of children, women, and young people is a big issue. It's not just a big issue, it's a crime, obviously. It's a crime against humanity and a whole population, young people, women, and children. And I just love this quote by our iconic and dynamic, he's now gone on, but Mr. Martin Luther King Jr., where he says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Okay? All right? Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality and tied in a single garment of destiny. We keep thinking we're separate. We are not.
Mm-mm.
Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Those women, children, young people, they're all belonging to some family and some people. The idea that injustice in one place threatens justice everywhere is reinforced by the concept of something called the public interest litigation.
Mm-hmm.
It was developed in the 1960s to provide legal representation for marginalized groups and interests. And I believe that's become worldwide now. Each child we rescue is more than a number. They are living, vibrant souls bursting with personality and potential. But left captive in exploitation, they are stifled, abused, and degraded, their voices silenced.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many ways in which this exploitation, here are some quotes about the exploitation of women and children. Gender inequality, that's where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Once you think of somebody as less than, you tend to think that you can abuse them. It has happened in history all down the road. When girls are valued less than boys, women less than men, they face multiple risks throughout their lives. I was reading the statistics about how many women live in fear of not going home that night because they're subject to abuse just because they're women.
Mm-hmm.
People think it's okay to just, then there's domestic abuse. Blights lives. It can destroy lives, and not just the life of the immediate victim, but as you're always saying, Dr. Mundih, of the children and other family members, because women are the linchpin. They're the glue, right? So you take that away, and the family can very well disintegrate very quickly
Mm-hmm.
because women hold the family together, right? Then there's human trafficking. Human trafficking is the third most prolific, heinous crime in the world. The third most, human trafficking. And
Mm-hmm.
we act as if it's normal, like we just read it and we go on. The world has 8 billion people in it, and it's the third most committed crime in the world. How did that become okay for people to be buying and selling other human beings?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, social norms, some of the strongest and most consistent factors for violence against women and girls are harmful social norms that contribute to gender inequality. And here we go again, silence. This silence is corrosive. It
Mm-hmm.
leaves women, children, and men carrying the burden of shame when they've been, trafficked and have faced inequality awareness. The issue of trafficking and exploitation is all around us. And we all must be aware that we must be willing to do something. And the thing is, as I've always said, it's not the resources we lack, it's the will and the intentionality, as you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just keep making that clear that we have the resources. It's just the will and the intention. And we in One Global Movement is hoping to start that trend.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, my turn.
Yes,
no,
sister.
just talk. You're free to talk here.
Okay. This is touchy subject because it happened to me as a child,
Mhm.
and I can resonate with any child at 14 years, and it felt like it was my fault because at that time I didn't know better as a child,
Yeah.
thinking it was my fault. I will not go into detail because I don't want to get emotional.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened years ago, but yes. So I can understand when a child goes through abuse and exploitation. I lived it. Okay, so as responsible leaders globally, we should join organization. We should be volunteering as much as we can in groups, okay, and let our voices be heard. We should be able to speak. Like if we can do public speaking, doesn't have to go on a big platform. We could be in a group of people and they ask for a certain subject, we can talk about that because this is serious. This is deadly and it's serious.
Yes.
Think of a child being co-host when a car is passing by and, they look left and right, the driver, whoever that predator is. And then that child has been held. Maybe there's another one in the back seat who holds that child, innocent, fragile, vulnerable, and, lower them in their vehicle and take them somewhere and do whatever, ostracize them. And then sometimes they even get killed,
Of course.
because that child will be talking. They were taught not to say anything. So to not let them open their mouth, they get rid of them. I mean, this is an abomination here in this life. And we have it happening everywhere. Even here in Canada, in the States, everywhere it's happening.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's something where we need to speak out. We need to come out as a people and speak. Talk. And not just talk, but we take action because we need to have support so much so that we can have even a rally against it.
Yes.
Back in my island, every little thing, we had an island rally, whether it's for abuse, whether it's for drugs, anything, and people would join in. And, the message is out. Why can't we do it in these big places? I know there's people who are not happy because they maybe are, sorry to say, predators. So they, when it reaches their ears, they'll not be happy. However, why should we stand in a corner and look at children, young children being abused? It's not good. We have to come out socially, be in organizations, talk about it, discuss it, and let the child be heard. Let the child talk. Because I was taught at the time as if it was my fault. And I was afraid to go to my parents because they would think, okay, what were you doing there? Okay, because that's how strict parents were. What were you doing there? So I had to kind of talk to my sister who's older than me because it's a lot of us. But there was one who was close to me and everything would, talk about it. So I can imagine a child being, trembling in fear and afraid to come out and talk about something that is so bad, that has a use, they take away their pride. You know what I mean? The pride as a young girl. Even a young boy, it happens to boys, and these children have to grow to get married or to have a boyfriend, and they're lashing out because that's what I do. I lash out before somebody would approach me because, that when I think of it, it's almost like I'm taking it out on the other person, but that wasn't right until I joined groups up here and I cried my eyeballs out because I heard from other people. I was afraid. So we need to do something, get involved in groups, talk about it, discuss it.
So what you're describing, sister, is even more insidious. So you're victimized twice by the predator, and then you have no one to confide in except, thank God.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so you're boxed in. You know, it's such a terrible thing, this exploitation thing, because
It is.
it hurts you from every angle, spiritually and emotionally and physically, and it just messes you up.
Sometimes, yeah. But unless you
Yes,
get help, though,
unless you get help, of course.
and
Yes, and
you
thank
let
God.
it out, you cry it out, share, and then you get the people to pat your back. You're not alone. Mine, look at, they bring out theirs, and when you listen to them, theirs is even worse. It's
Yes,
like they were slashed or whatever,
yes, yes.
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
things like that. Like,
it's
so I
really
am
sad.
an advocate for children who are abused. That was done by a family member, you
Of
know.
Yes,
course, of course.
yes,
That's
of
what they
course,
also say
of
statistically.
course.
That's what they also say. Yes,
Yep,
yes.
yep.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
yeah,
And
and
me too. I will tell you, me too, Melanie.
yeah,
And mine is complex, and because issues like these are complex issues,
They
um,
are. Yes.
I am a controversial child, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's how my destiny was going to become. I am
Mm-hmm.
controversial,
Mm-hmm.
conceived in a controversial situation, born in a controversial situation, and raised in a controversial situation.
Yep.
And at the age of 3, I was thrown away by a biological father to an unknown, an uncle that I didn't know. But thank God that even though I was so abused, I have scars all over my body. If you look at my body, I have scars, bleeding, some were stitched. I was beaten more than anything else. The only thing that didn't occur to me was sexual abuse. And it's horrible. I don't want to even go into the details of all of this because I see what is happening to children out there. Some of them are killed in the process of that abuse a lot.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
3 years old, the only good thing that happened to me was that my uncle was an educated person. He made sure that I started school, kindergarten at the age of 3. And
Mm-hmm.
education, coupled with my grandmother, my mother, that is what saved my life. And
Thank
when you
God.
see me talking about the bush, I am a forest child
Yeah.
because I grew up in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
11 years old because I could not get married. You're talking about gender inequality. I have to be the one to be forced into marriage at the age of 11. And even my brothers went through abuse. My mother, it starts with our parents.
Yes.
When your parents are abused, it comes down to you. They are afraid for their. My mom was literally afraid of her
Of her
life.
life.
Most of the time, she was always on the run for her dear life. And we were left to be slaves to my father and his numerous wife and children. Till today, they're always trying to hurt me in one way or the other. But I said no. But I thank God for the United States that gave me the platform to share this, because if I look at other situations, those that were going through those things with me, those girls are no more. I'm the only survivor.
Yes.
And it still hurts because to know that there are people that you're growing with and they're all gone, it hurts.
It does. It does. It has to.
yes,
And a lot of kids now, they are suffering a lot, even right here in the United States.
Everywhere.
Nobody.
It's a global condition.
And it
So let's
starts
not
from
fool
our
up.
homes. It starts
Yes,
from
let's not
home
fool
and
ourselves
our
about. Yeah.
parents. Our parents went through the same thing. They don't even know, they're confused. They don't know what to do. And
Yeah.
they just give in. And I even see in our community, you see, women are maltreated. They just stay there. Stay there. They push themselves to stay there because you'll be labeled. You'll be labeled this one. Like me, they label me all the time. They say, look at this one that thinks that she knows too much. And now she divorced her husband. And then they'll be making a mockery of me. And I'm like, you know what? I am big enough now. I have to pick and choose who I
yes,
interact with, who becomes a friend. My
Absolutely.
friends are those that are talking about the things that are affecting women and children and young people.
Exactly.
Other than that, I
Exactly.
don't care, because what else? Even the authorities, they don't really take this matter serious, because why would you let a predator, somebody who is trafficking young girls, why would you let them just be, and then you're treating them with decency? What about those little girls? So the global circle of exploitation affecting children, women, and young people, and I thank you that you say also boys, because it's terrible now too. When
Yes, it
it's
is.
affecting young people, it's a complex systemic pattern involving economic, social, and political forces that perpetuate vulnerability and limit opportunities.
Yes.
This cycle often begins with poverty. Poverty, they exploit the poor situation, the lack of education, exposure to violence, all of these things. And we know it. To pay a deaf ear and a blind eye is not, like you say, it's a crime against humanity. It is.
It is. And then it's double victimizing. You understand? Because what you just said now about abused women, a lot of them will stay because they are so weakened, and then they're afraid of public ostracization and public stigma and what people are going to say. But let me tell you something, it's not worth that. It's not worth that.
Not worth it.
No, you see, my mom, thank God that she's alive. My mom is still afraid. She's still living with the trauma. My mom was so traumatized, even in my presence, as I was the one voicing out. My mom could not speak, just sit and cry, and buried her pain in hard work, working for her children.
Yes.
My mom still carries that thing with her right now. And I'm the one suffering from one treatment to the other, from one this to the other. But I thank God that she's still here, still praying for us and still blessing us. Imagine, my brothers, 2 of my brothers were abused. They passed. They passed. The only little sister that I knew passed at the age of 8 years old because she was so abused until she developed a stroke at that age. And the kind of hard labor, I'm telling you, we need to do something, and we are doing it here. It doesn't
but
take
we need
that
more
much.
hands. We need
more hands. We need more hands, please. And we need children. I know that a lot of kids are scared to talk about this, which is okay. They're not supposed to. I say talk about it now. I was scared before too.
Yes,
I was scared,
of course,
until I was encouraged to start talking, because I would just sit and cry, and I think that I'm worthless, I'm useless, I will never amount to anything. Like my father said, throughout my life, I would do everything just to please my father, to accept me and to love me as his own child, but he never did. He never did. But my mom and my grandmother said, you would take care of him. He's still your father. I took care of my father. I bought medication, hospitalization, food, everything. And I buried my father. My father died about 5 years ago. So we need to come together. We need more hands. Please, don't say you don't have. You don't have to have any money. You don't have to have any money.
Well, we have a voice. We have a voice.
Yes.
It starts with these conversations here, just like this. It starts with the conversation. So let us try to do away with economic disparity and poverty, and we can do this. The educational barriers to say the woman or the man is better than the woman, no. And then gender inequality in my own situation, child labor and trafficking. We worked on my father's plantation. We were the slaves. We mowed sun-dry blocks. We felled trees. You see the hard work that I'm doing? Some of it is part of that. And then we talk about political conflicts and instability created, man-made, created in a lot of places in the world because of what? Power, dominance. Which the young people, this is what happened. So lack of something that he didn't do. The system has been set in such a way that you who is poor, you're suffering, you continue to suffer the most. But it takes us together. We progress with that determination. We can do this without having to fight with anybody. Do it peacefully, so these kids can start to trust us and come to us, so we can discuss with them, not imposing on them. So we can find a path together, and in that process, we too are healing from some of the things that we had to go through. We'll be healing in this process as well. So the global demand for cheap and
Sister, what's your mic? Fix your mic. Your mic is really bad there. It's breaking up.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yeah, you're clearer now.
Do you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, maybe let me step to this side because I'm outside.
Okay, all right. Yes, it could be the wind. Right. Yes.
So what can we all do? What can we do as a global family to put an end to exploitation of these vulnerable population? What can we do? That is a question that everybody needs to ask themselves and begin to suggest, what can you do depending on your family in your community? And like I said before, most of the things start from the family. Family members exploit other family members. And when you do that, these kids will get out there into the larger world. They will be exploited, and they will think that's okay. If I don't do like this, this is what is going to happen to me. And the circle continues. So what I do is love. When you love a child, you love a woman, you love a young person. Therefore means that you know that we all are created by the same to love one another, to nurture one another, to help one another. That is the number one thing. And when you do that, what do? You try to feed these people because they need to eat healthily. And you have to educate them. And education and awareness is so important. We can't just help them without educating them and aware of their own environment and their own societies and their own village to make this happen for them. I have to advocate for this.
Your mic, sister. Your mic. Hello, Sister Mundih. You have to fix the mic. It's not. It's chopping. Yeah.
The air outside is interfering with your speaking.
Okay.
Okay. Do you hear?
The air outside. That's what it is. It's like you're in a can, in a bamboo can.
Do you hear?
It's not well.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe she's going to change positions.
Yeah, she's breaking up.
But because we would like for it to be recorded properly, you know what I'm saying?
Because she's outside, the air comes through the mic, and
I know, so she probably have to direct it a different way so the wind doesn't hit it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. You know, but this is a topic that a lot of people won't touch because it's so devastating to think about it from all angles, you know, and it's because of the inequality that we feel towards one another.
Exactly.
You know? That's where it starts from, because when I read that 1 in 3 women are saying that they're worried about leaving their home and not returning simply because depending on where they live and what the violence is towards them.
Yes.
Nobody's going to check it out. Nobody, even in our own Canada here, Sister Melanie, right?
Yes.
Look at the indigenous people, not even there, but look at that. That is so. They're always asking for investigations into situations, but it doesn't really go.
It doesn't. Even in our own, like, you know, they just go disappear or whatever, and nothing is done. It's announced once, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a woman, it's a girl.
Yes.
Girl, who knows? You know, they say things like, you know, she's fickle or she's of age, and then nobody follows up on for years and years. You don't hear from that person, and it just goes away. How is that? How is that okay?
It's not
a human being.
It's not.
It's just the weirdest thing that we've come to think of that as okay. However, though, it depends on where that person is from, does it not?
Yes, that is true. That is so true. Because for me, that made me stronger, and that made me stand out boldly. You know, more and more when I think of it, it gives you that revenge, but not to take it out on anyone, but revenge type mind that you're not gonna stop me. You may have done what you did, but I stand strong because you didn't put me here.
No,
you know?
And that's what they say about the best revenge is to live well.
Yes.
And I really believe that, because no one really can make you feel inferior without your consent and cooperation. Unless you're a tiny child, what kind of child? But as you grow up, the best revenge is to live well, the way you're created to be, make an impact, and then you help others too. You know, it has such a ripple effect when you do that, and you can share. Then others are emboldened and they say, she can do it, she did it, I can do it too. And so this is why I'm saying the least we can do is to give a voice, because all of us have faced that.
Oh gosh,
all of us, of some kind or another. It doesn't have to be sexually. It's just any kind of abuse is what he said. And injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. It does not matter what it is that people have done to kind of thwart your life. Your life is meant to be lived the way God sent you here, with power and a sound mind. Hello, Sister Mundih, you're back.
Yes, you guys should continue with the conversation. when that thing puts me out, yes, I'm glad that you guys continued. I'm really happy. I appreciate that. So if it happens again, just continue and then you close it, okay? If it happens
Yeah,
again.
but you're fine now. So speak softly. Don't get too passionate.
So now, what we as One Global Movement here can do, or as parents of the world, we can empower local communities.
Yes, we can.
Yes, especially those forgotten areas, children or women of the world. We can do that, and we can start small. We can do like what materials or what things can they use in their environment to begin to build their lives up, and then we support those kind of things instead of trying to look up there. There are things that we can do all over anywhere you go. We just have to find it around their environment and begin to do. But before we do that, I think helping to feed them, because if they don't eat, they don't have shelter, then it's going to be difficult, and clothing. So these three things are paramount. And then when we do that, we are also educating them on what to do. We can. I was thinking about discussing with Way about opening like a One Global Movement a school for a sewing school. For their kids who like to sew, or even a cooking school. I can teach food and nutrition, because I studied that as well. And then I was also thinking of getting a certification from the from United Nations to see what we can do. There are a lot of things we can do. We can even start by
I was, yeah, you mentioned that. So I support women's shelters, and they're very private places. You can't just know that they're there on the street. I love how they protect them, the better ones, right? You'll never know they're there unless they send you the address and you know how to whatever it is. But that's the first part, because the women and their children are secure and safe there, and they can have a chance to do what you're saying, become industrious now, maybe learn to sew or cook or whatever, and then they can support themselves. Because as you said, one of the reasons women stay in these horrific situation is because it's how they feed their children, right? It's how they provide a roof. So so it's a cycle that we can start by doing that. So find those shelters, for instance, and as you say, the women and the children are protected, and then they learn, self-dependent, you know what I mean, self-sufficient.
Yes. Self-sufficient and self-independent is very important, because so long as you continue to depend on some other person, they will only do what they want to do. So we want to encourage self-independence and self-sufficient and high self-worth, self-esteem. When we get this together, people can know. Even you can start with selling a bottle of water. You can start with doing something so minimal, and then you gradually climb your way up. Because all of this program that we are having in One Global Movement, it is a way of helping our children and these women to think big, to think like businessmen and women, and get out of the situation of having to beg. Remember, when you beg, people will only give you to the extent where they know what they are gaining, and then they'll pull your strings a little bit. You want to go, they pull it back again. So you don't want to depend on somebody. And if we are using some things now, of course, some good things, slightly used, are good, but we use them. But make sure you do your own. You do your own thing, so you don't be asking things from other people. And for those who cannot do it for themselves, we are here to pick behind them to see what we can do. Even if they cannot do because of a physical limitation, their voices are there, or they can just be going like this. You see Steve Wonder, even though he has the head and also singing. So there are always things that we can do. We can do. And don't look at a disabled person and say it's disabled, because that disabled person is also teaching you to be sympathetic, to be empathetic, and to also place yourself in their own shoes. This is very, very important. And then raising global awareness through what we are doing here and saying. We are not just doing, we are already putting things into practice. We are not just sitting here and talking. And then we want to support this non-profit like One Global Movement. Because it cannot go without support. And we're going to be putting things out there, whether it is T-shirts or digital or physical magazines and other programs that I am running around now and trying to get them together. It takes time, but God will show us the way to do these things. And we do it worldwide, so important. And then teach critical thinking and global citizenship. Critical thinking and global citizenship is so important. Don't say, oh, they said this country is bad, or they said this person is bad, I'm not going to go close. Witness that person for yourself, because I can be bad to somebody, but I can be good to another person. So
Yeah.
we have to see ourselves in a positive light. Let us not just take what people are saying. Oh, this child is a very bad child. Don't go there. Go there and find out for yourself, because nobody is 100% good and nobody is 100% bad. And we support ethical consumption. We talk about this in a different way. Ethical consumption is very important. What is good for a child is what we're going to support. We're not going to want to invent the wheel or do something out of the cultural consumption of that child. And that would not help that child. We will create a loophole in that child that is not going to get anywhere. So these and many more things, they are the things that we can literally do. So what are you doing already? And how can you improve on what you're doing? And what do you think you can do after you're done doing what you're doing? What level are you going to take it to? What can you do to stretch a hand to a child in Canada, a child in Liberia, a child in the Cameroon where I was born? What can you do to build homes for these women and children, or parents and children? It's sometimes cheaper in this, not that sometimes, it's cheaper in these local communities. That is why I can afford to put the One Global Movement structure there. And there are people that are volunteering, they're working for free. And for me, I don't take it for free. I have to do something, because somebody works volunteer. Of course, the person is helping for free, but do something to that person, you know? So this is what we are asking. Please bring people here. We can't do it all by ourselves here. Bring one, bring two, and together we will be building the global community that will get to meet every child, every woman, and everyone, even the man. Because if you meet a woman and a child, you've already met the man as well. So that is very, very important. So if you guys have anything, go ahead and say it. Considering the internet here, I'm just going to want to thank everybody here so that
Go
we can
ahead,
call
sister,
it a
Okay.
because I
day.
don't want you to fall off again. So please, unless
Right.
Sister Melanie has something else to add.
Yes. So you said to you can start in a community. I always think of people. I put myself first, but I think of people because I had been there and done been there. Not that
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, but
Yes.
anyhow,
Yes.
I start as little as people in the shelter because I was in a shelter too. Later on in life, okay, that's Thames. I had it's close by, but I had a knife plucked by my pillow. Okay, plucked
Yeah.
at the pillow by my head, and
Yeah.
instead of calling the cops because I love peace, what I did, I could have done more, but what I did is call the shelter and I went. But the
Yes.
shelter is not the shelter we were thinking of because I was thinking shelter, maybe a long house where so many people, but no, it's a house
Yeah.
where everybody has chores and they have their time, they. But
Yes.
then what I developed is from there, I put up women in shelters, and what I offer to one or two of them, not all of them, one or two that I know that I'm close to, is offer a date lunch. It could be a birthday lunch. Okay,
Yes.
we go together and we speak and we laugh. Okay,
Yes.
and we haven't been to the movie in a little while, but community movies are there. The small
Yes.
community, and then you feel home. It makes it homey. There's
Absolutely.
many things you can do
Yes.
slowly
Yes.
to help. You're not changing their lives, but you're helping in that sense, right?
Yes, you are.
So
Yes. And
yes,
that's
and
changing because
Yes,
it builds the
yes,
confidence. It
right,
builds self-esteem.
yes.
Somebody cares. I'm valuable.
exactly.
Those things. Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
another thing, I am going to join with one of the women who was in a shelter with a little girl, and she's raising a little girl along with her. So everything that child sees the mom does, she do it.
Yes.
So we're going to join together and do soup, warm
Ah,
soup,
Yes.
and go
yes.
to the
There you go.
community and, talk to people,
So
because I
nice.
used to be on the field, like, as they
Yeah.
said, in the field, like, getting people for, winning
Yeah.
souls. And we used
Yes.
to give them lunch and we talk to them at the same time, not looking
Absolutely.
down, but
Yeah.
looking at them. So
Yeah.
the soup in
Yes.
the community in the winter, people need that. They need that.
Yes.
If you have
Yes.
as I said, if you have a coat, a jacket, whatever, somebody will need it. And it's a
Uh,
good one. They'll take
yes.
it from
Yes.
you. So
Yes.
Yes.
doing those little things, we think it's not much, but somebody appreciate it so much that,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
they'll remember
Yes.
you, you
Yes.
know?
If
Yes.
we, if we have
That is
hands and hearts, we can do something. We
Yes.
really,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Melanie,
Okay.
just so you know,
Yes.
I was also in the shelter, okay? I was in the shelter. I cried my eyes. I was shelter here in the United States, and
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
because of
mm-hmm.
abuse from a husband, And
Yeah.
so I cried. I said, send me home. I want to go home to my mom. I was crying every day. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. I want to go home. Then they told me, the government said, nope, I was still a child. I was 22, 23. And they said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, and that's not the way the system works. I'm telling you, the government officials of this country, some of them are very good.
Yes.
I didn't know anything. I just wanted my mom. They took me to court and the man, and I was just crying. I said, send me home. They did everything for me, fill out the paperwork, gave me a lawyer. I didn't know where I was
Nice.
going. They were
Yes.
taking me everywhere. So, no, we can do it. What you're doing is possible. And now I went back to the shelter about 8 years ago to look for one of the young ladies who was almost the same age with me. She was working for me, cleaning my
Yeah.
shoes. I couldn't eat their food. I wanted my own food. So, but when I cook, everybody now wanted to eat. So we ate together as a family. I look for them. The shelter is still there. I have some coats that I've been
Yeah.
gathering, everything. We take them to the shelter, take them to these
Exactly.
little, or even go to a school and talk to the school authorities. What we are doing, you said, okay, this is winter time. This is what I can do. Or this is summertime. There are some shots out there. I'm always out there looking for something that I can buy, but not expensive things, because there are
Exactly.
good things that are not expensive. We just put the eye
They
to look.
are
We can do this.
absolutely.
And then I have cans of food. I know that
Yeah.
canned food is not good. I don't promote that. But for right now, that is what I can do. Before this one global movement farm start bringing fresh produce again, I distribute them. But
Yeah.
for right now, I buy kinds of food. I read the dates. Don't buy expired
Yes.
things, and then you
Yes.
put them
Yes.
together. But make sure when you giving them, for me, I will take corn. I wash it, wash everything really well
Yeah.
before you use it. You wash the beans very well before you use it.
Everything. Yes.
There's
They
certain
Mm-hmm.
pluck
canned
it.
food that I cannot advise anybody to use, like the beans that is already cooked and everything. No, buy the beans that you yourself are going to make your tomatoes and your
Exactly.
vegetables and do it with. So a lot of things that we can do, ladies and gentlemen. Let us do these. Mr. Ash Mufara brought us together to do these kind of things. If we are just waiting for the apples, I'll be the first person not to wait. I'll get my apples. You who is waiting, I'm sorry, don't wait. We got to do something.
Okay,
Uh,
sister.
another
All
thing that
right.
another thing that I do is the young women, the preteens who get
Yes,
pregnant and they have
yes,
they give them a home. So it's a group of them in a home.
Yeah.
And before after COVID, the government gives, well, who had the business mind. This is to encourage them. So
Mm-hmm.
they give them that help, and very nice restaurants they get, young
Yeah.
people. So there
Yes.
was one that I support. She used to go to my church. Very nice girl. Ooh, she's got a body on her and everything. But she was a preteen when she got pregnant,
Yeah.
and her little boy was always with her. And when she had the restaurant, I used to call her because you could do it from home, right? The restaurant stuff during COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
I told her I have to support you, and then she would bring the cooked food here for me, and then I would pay her, because that's
Ah,
how we do our best to help one another. That's
absolutely.
yes.
how I see life,
Those
if
are
we
very
don't
nice work.
extend the hand,
Yeah.
how could
Nothing
the other
happens. Nothing
person?
happens.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah,
happens if we don't
those are
extend
very
our hand.
nice ways. We are learning
Yeah.
from one another every
Yes.
day, and I'm really grateful that you guys are sharing all of this. So
Well, it's
I'm
proving
going.
it's proving that we can do little things. We don't have to wait, because it can seem so overwhelming if you think of when you hear the statistics. But don't start there. As even what Unpassive said, we start in our own homes, the community, and then we ripple out. If we
Yeah.
take on the world, we won't do anything. We can't do
No,
it.
we won't. We won't. It starts from
Just
home.
start where you
Always
are.
from home.
Yes,
You can't go
always.
and help somebody when you have not helped yourself. It's not the same.
Exactly.
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 Yeah. So now, I'm just gonna mention the names, please, so that I can rush out.
Oh,
And
absolutely, sister. I will keep an eye.
yes, so
We don't
the
miss
weather is
anyone.
yeah. So our managing director is here. Thank you so much, John, for always being here to welcome all of us here. Thank you. We have our sister Ballyhoo Pushpit Media, Sister Sharon. Thank you so much for being here. We have our beautiful sister Nancy. Thank you, Nancy, for always joining us here and helping us. And we're going to go down here. We have our brother Levi Mama Bolo. How are you? We miss you, but you're here today. Thank you so much for joining us from the sunny Pretoria. Thank you so much. And we have SK Java Alisaka. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us from your own end here. Your own end, we appreciate you. And then let's go down here. It looks like it's all the regulars that are here today mostly.
Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
all the regulars. That was easy.
Yes.
So thank you so much. So please, families,
just
it says,
highlight
please,
the link.
families, let's spread the word by pushing the big thumbs up. Subscribe
Yes.
if not yet done. Turn on the notification bell and share with families and friends. And please, if you have not subscribed, you can find people. Another way that you can help is to look for people. Say, okay, my goal to support one global movement to start little is to bring 5-10 people to subscribe, and you help them subscribe to YouTube channel, and then you go to Facebook, you help them like and follow. Those are little ways that you can start to help, so that we can start having some resources that we need. Every little bit counts. We cannot just do it here by ourselves. So there are so many ways. And you can also ask, you don't just come here to attend, also ask, what can I do to help this movement for women and children? There's a lot of things that we can do together, because you're not just only helping them, you're also helping yourself. Remember, when you help, you give, you become so happy. You feel it that you're contributing something, and that something will come to you in tenfolds. So please let us do something to do this. And thank you guys so much. We have the link here. This is the link for our Facebook page, One Global Movement Facebook page. It looks funny, but it is right. Go there, please, and like and follow and get people. Why don't you set a goal for yourself and let us hear from you? When you come here, you said, oh, I did this number of people, and you give us the name so we can shout out to them if you're comfortable. But do it at your own convenience, okay? And Nancy is never going to forget this. Nancy and Sister Yvonne, you must put those big thumbs up, subscribe and share, and turn on the notification bell. So thank you guys so much. Tomorrow is another better day. It's only going to get better and better. And we will see you guys tomorrow. I want to rush back to my
Yes, we know you're going back to.
Enjoy to Yvonne.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Sister
we'll see you guys
Melanie.
tomorrow.
Thank you. Welcome, Sir Yvonne Finn.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.